rather be doing clicking my glasses on over and over again than talk about this movie, which I've been wanting to talk about for a long time now. So, but hey everyone, Kyle once again. Welcome back to another movie review and another rant. So, yeah, want to talk about this film for a long time, and plus, this year marks 10 years after from the year 2011. It seems like only yesterday when I remember 2011, right? Especially certain films that came out in 2011. That seems like only yesterday when I saw them, right? I can't believe it's been 10 years since this film came out. Because 10 years, by the time I just... But from the start of 2011, well, it came out around the time because in late 2010 and to the early till 2011, right? That's when I first started college. I can't believe it's been that long since I first started college. And and then the trailer for this too. 10 years later, this film still sucks ass. I know they're probably in my opinion, this film 10 years later, this film still sucks ass. Now I'm sure there's people who like this movie. That's cool. That's fine with you. I have nothing against you on that. If you like this movie, that's perfectly fine. I hold nothing against you for that. But to me, no. So 10 years later, 10th anniversary, you can say, Sucker Punch. And you know what I think about this film? That's my Sucker Punch to that. That's the title right there. That's my Sucker Punch right there. Look at that! I freaking dented the thing because of this here. That's why. I should wear more rings so I can when I review more pieces of garbage of film like this, I can dent this whole thing in. You know, that's why you should probably wear rings like this. So Sucker Punch. Okay, and this is directed by Zack Snyder, and right off the bat. Before I get into the film, right off the bat about Zack Snyder, and yes, I did see his director's cut of Justice League. And before anyone asks, yes, I did not like it, as I thought it would be. It was a complete, utter waste of my time. I wish I could get those 4 hours back for my life. I wish I could. I did not. I'll say it right now. I did not like his director's cut, which I did not need in the first place, though. I'm sure everybody wanted that, though, but not for me. I didn't like Justice League the first time it came out in 2017. Didn't like this time with the director's cut. Didn't make a difference to me. So like I said right now, right? I'll get to that rant some other time. But right now I want to talk about his movie, his piece of crap right here. And yes, Zack Snyder, I think he's an overrated director now. I think he's an overrated director. And I don't like his DC movies. The thing is, though, I truly love two of his films. The first film with his directorial debut, I love the Dawn of the Dead remake. I love that film from his debut. I talked about the Dawn of the Dead remake. I reviewed it. You can check back on. I reviewed a while back. You can check that out. I love Dawn of the Dead from 2004. And the next film I talked about it countless times on here, that how much I love the film. I love Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole. I love Legend of the Guardians. I think that's how it gets hate. I have no idea why. By saying that, I think it's his most underrated movie. I'll say that right now, it's his most underrated movie. I love Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole. I read the books. I enjoy the movie highly. I love it. It's one of the most beautifully animated movies I've seen. The animation was very beautiful to look at. And the other films, Watchmen. I thought I'll have to review that sometime later. Watchmen. I just think it's an alright movie. Okay, average. Right? I don't love the movie. I think it's just this average movie. And then 300, same thing. Okay, average. But I don't love those movies though. The only two films I truly love, I love Dawn of the Dead and I love Legend of the Guardians. That's it. Watchmen and 300 are just average, like that. But I hate his DC movies. I hate Man of Steel. What else? I hate Batman v Superman, and I hate Justice League. And I didn't even like this director, and I just did not like his director's cut either. It did not make any difference to me. I think he should stop making DC movies altogether. But here's the thing. I am curious to check out his Army of the Dead movie with Dave Bautista. I am curious about that movie. I'll give that a look. See, I already give a little more praise that film hasn't came out compared to his DC films and this piece of shit, basically. So yeah, I will give Army of the Dead a look because I've been curious about that for some time when it comes out. I'll give it that. But I hate his DC films. I should not do any more of those again, and I hate Sucker Punch. So all that said, because another thing about Zack Snyder, which I'm talking about the movie yet, but I'll just give it a quick though, I guess. Zack Snyder, he's a guy. He's just basically all style and no substance. Basically, all style, because all of his movies. Basically, all his movies are slow-mo. He relies so much on the slow-mo. So freaking much. Yeah, and it can work. Especially Dawn of the Dead, it worked, okay? And especially Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole. The slow-mo, that worked. Definitely. But it is so... He's beating that style up so much beating it with a dead horse, basically. He's just taking that with the phrase "beating it with a dead horse." He's taking that so freaking much, especially in the DC movies, and especially in the director's cut of his director's cut of Justice League. It's literally every 5 seconds, every scene, every 5 seconds slow mo. He's literally beating it with a dead horse on that. It's so what was it? What's the other word? Reductive or I think it's reductive or repetitive. It's some of that word. All right. It's basically just beating a dead horse with that. When you use it so freaking much, it's like you basically I've lost interest in the slow mo. That's basically it. I've lost interest in it because he uses so much of it in all of his movies. Even though I liked it when the usage of it in Legend of the Guardians. Even in Dawn of the Dead. But in his DC films, especially the director's cut of Zack Snyder, yes, he's been literally being a dead horse with that. It's like all style and no substance. Visually, basically. But all that said, and there's more stuff on Zack Snyder I want to talk about right now. I just want to get to the movie, right? Okay. And when this film came out, it met with negative reviews. It's a 22% Rotten Tomatoes, and it was a box office flop. It cost $82 million. It made $89 million worldwide. Like a little bit below 50 million. It was a box office flop. So that's another thing. Yeah. And the thing is, this film was so confusing to watch. That's the thing. It was so confusing because there's so many things going in it. What do I mean? Okay, first of all, how it opens up, right? Immediately with a slow-mo, right? Our lead girl is called Baby Doll, played by Emily Browning. And Emily Browning, I'm mostly know her from 2004 of the series of Unfortunate Events with Jim Carrey. She was the older sister, yeah. She's the one who invented, it's like making inventions of contraptions, right? Yeah, I mostly remember her from a series of Unfortunate Events. And I forgot there was another film I also saw her in. I forget. But I mostly remember her from a series of Unfortunate Events. Oh, yeah, that's right, Ghost Ship. Ghost Ship from 2002. She was the little girl that died, and she was her ghost. She was helping out our lead girl, right? Escape from the ghost ship, right? Yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah, she was a little girl that was from the ghost girl from Ghost Ship. I was not a fan of that movie either, but she was in that as well. So yeah, that and a series of unfortunate events. She plays the character named Baby Doll. And once again, with the slow-mo, she has in the film, she has she has a little sister, and her mom died. And she has an asshole stepfather. And I recognize that because I know the stepfather's an asshole because he's played by the same guy who also played an asshole from that guy Snakes on a Plane. He was the asshole that threw the dog to the giant snake. Yeah. Yeah, so that asshole threw the dog to the giant snake on Snakes on a Plane. He's the guy who plays an asshole stepfather. So he plays an asshole on Snakes on a Plane, and he's an asshole stepfather in this film in the opening, right? So yeah, so he's this asshole stepfather, and when the mom died, and then after that, the settler tries to rape Emily Browning, and she gets a gun. And the first stupid thing is this guy. She's like 2 feet away from the guy, right? Basically point blank range, right? So close to the guy, she can shoot him. Easily can shoot him, right? Won't miss, right? But somehow she misses him. Breaks this light bulb, like you saw in the trailer. Breaks this light bulb, but somehow it ricochets and kills the little sister. Like, she's like this high, and the light bulb's like somewhere right here, right? Somehow she misses. I don't know how you can miss this guy basically in point blank range, but somehow she misses it and shoots the light bulb, and somehow it ricochets and kills the little sister. I have no idea how that killed the sister. How? If you're shooting past the light bulb, it should go straight, right? But somehow it gets shoot the light bulb, then immediately straight down to the little sister, I guess. I have no idea how that happens. That's one dumb thing I can say right now. And then after that, she gets put in the mental asylum. She gets put in the mental asylum, and the guy who runs the place, I forgot he was in this. Oscar Isaac is in this. Yeah, later goes in place Poe from the new Star Wars movies, right? And he also played Apocalypse in X-Men Apocalypse. He plays Apocalypse, or that version of Ivan Ooze, basically. I forgot he was in this. He's the guy who runs the mental asylum. And like I said, this is where it gets so freaking confusing. For me, it was confusing, right? Because the girl, Emily Browning, Baby Doll, she's in a mental asylum, but at the same time, she envisions this as a brothel, where she meets the other girls, right? One is named Sweet Pea, played by Abbie Cornish. She has a sister named Rocket. One named Amber. And who was the other girl? What was the other girl's name? Blondie, which she was not blonde at all though, but she's named Blondie. Which is actually played by Blondie's played by was it Vanessa? Yeah, Vanessa Hudgens. Which she's been in some other stuff. Like she was in Journey to the Mysterious Island. She later appeared in last year's sequel, Bad Boys for Life. But yeah, see that's why I feel like burping on this movie. Those are the five, right? And the woman who's talking with them, basically talking to Emily Browning, is played by Carla Gugino, which she was in also with Zack Snyder's Watchmen. She was also in with Dwayne Johnson twice, Race to Witch Mountain and San Andreas. And like I said, the Baby Doll, she's a mental asylum, but she also envisions this as a brothel. That's why you get that asshole stepfather in a different version. He's a priest. This version. So all this vision she has, and she wants to escape from the place, right? And she's basically Carla, Gugino, saying that, she's imagining this is a brothel, so they want her to do like dance and all that, right? And we get like basically into another vision, like a vision within a vision, basically. She envisions wherever she's envisioning, she's dancing, basically, right? First, she envisions she's in this time of Japan, right? She visits the wise men, played by Scott Glenn, which I like Scott Glenn. Yeah, to me, he was the best part of the movie, though, but he doesn't save the film, though, at the same time. Tells him that, tells her that you need to find 5 items: map, key, fire, and a knife, and this is the fifth thing is a mystery, right? The 5th item is a mystery. Then she starts, then she immediately gets into this. She gets a sword and a gun, and she gets into a fight with these samurais. These giant samurais. One with a long naginata, and then one with a freaking rocket launcher and a Gatling gun. And then the last one, the other samurai, she beats easily. So all that what she's doing in that vision, she's dancing for the other one, right? So basically, it's three things, right? It's her world in the mental asylum, then you got the vision in the brothel, then wherever the next world that she's visiting, right? God, freaking. See? Keep burping, just want me to talk about this movie. Oh. So what else? Then, because also she wants to escape because she's going to get a lobotomy. That's the thing. She's going to get a lobotomy. Then the next world is a World War I setting, right? Basically like the No Man's Land, basically. And they fight with these Nazis, sort of Nazi zombies, but they're not zombies though, because these soldiers that wear gas masks, they have red eyes. You shoot them, steam comes out of them. Right. And the thing is, as I'm watching this, I'm watching this as none of all this is real, so they're not fighting real monsters or anything. This is all in her head. It's all in her vision. So it sort of just takes me out of it. Whatever they're doing, whether this World War I or the samurai or the next one where they're fighting where there was ogres and a dragon, and the other one, robots on a train. None of this is real, so it just takes me out of it because it's like while she's doing this, all the same time she's dancing at the same time. In her vision, she's outside of her vision. She's dancing during all this to attain these items. So it's not taking any real risk, basically. Where all these action scenes you see from the trailers, all the visions, right? It's not real, so it's not taking risks. That's why I think. So it's it's nothing. If you get what I mean, if you know who understands what I'm saying, yeah. Because none of it, because like everything, all these actions, none of this is actually nothing is real that they're fighting. They're fighting basically nothing. Yeah, and also the thing is, because in all the use of the slow mo and visually, it's visually right, visually. Sort of, when the world was such the World War I, when they shoot down the Zeppelin or the blimp, right? He's coming down, flames. Yeah, it's a nice piece of visual. But the thing is, you can't just a film can't just be good on just visual effects alone, right? Especially all this movie is basically 90% is on a green screen. The action scenes, the background, basically 90% of this is all on a green screen. It just takes me out of it. Especially with the visions, that it's not really real, so there's nothing really risky about it. Except the part where during the train level, right, and the rocket, so the vision does a self-sacrifice on a train, but actually she ended up getting stabbed, right, because they're trying to get a knife from this cook. Why that specific knife? There's a bunch of knives around this kitchen. You could have just taken any knife, but it had to be that specific type of knife from this fat-ass cook. I don't know why. There's a whole bunch of knives lying around, but that one fetish cook could just had that one particular knife they had to take. And such all this is going on, especially in. But it's also led to believe that the fifth thing is a mystery, right? And it's actually her, Emily Browning, right? She's the one who's going to end up doing the self-sacrifice, right, to let Sweet Pea get away. And well, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, yeah, because Oscar Isaac, right? He shoots the other two girls. He shoots Vanessa Hudgens and Jamie Chung, right? Jamie Chung has played Amber, which I think Jamie Chung, she played Mulan from the show Once Upon a Time. Jamie Chung, yeah, I think so. So he shoots those two, but I guess they weren't really real anyway, because it's all from the brothel scene. So I guess they weren't real, I guess, but except for Sweet Pea, I guess. So basically, she's gonna do baby doll. She's gonna do the self-sacrifice so Sweet Pea can get away, and it's pointless because she ends up getting lobotomized anyway. And Sweet Pea escapes and into the real world, where she meets the real Scott Glenn as a bus driver, saying, "Where are you going to?" And what happened with Baby Doll? She's lobotomized, and Blue, that's Oscar Isaac's name, Blue, tries to rape her, but Carla Gugino gets him arrested. And I forgot to mention John Hamm's in this, but forgettable role, John Hamm. And another thing is the characters. I never cared about any of these characters. They basically know nothing about them. Baby Doll, other than the fact that she had a sister, and somehow that Ricochet killed her, though. I don't know how, when the guy is staying right 2 feet, basically point blank range, but somehow misses and then all the same time kills the sister instead. Other than that, though, what else do you know about Baby Doll or Sweet Pea or the other girls? Nothing. I don't know nothing about them. Never knew nothing about them anyway, so I never gave a shit about the characters. Especially all the action scenes, they're not really real, so there's any risks they're taking. And it's just at the same time, it's a Vision with an Vision because she's a mental asylum, but at the same time envisioning it as a brothel and having a Vision within a Vision. While the action scenes are going on, well, sometimes she's doing the dance while in that first Vision. Oh my god! And it's especially it's just left me. See, it's affecting my speech as well. It's making me like that, Can't even talk properly, once again. And it's basically, it's me keep scratching this one point right in my head, because it's keep on bugging the shit out of me. It's making me freaking do this. This is what this freaking do this means. It's making me scratch my head now. This is why I want to talk about this rant on this for a while, because this is what this film is. It lets me dazed and confused and scratching my head still. It's still making me scratch my head. God. Other than his DC films that suck, yeah, this is easily one of his worst movies. Basically want to do this. Basically, wants us to see hot girls and skimpy outfits kicking ass, basically, right? But the thing is, what else is there besides girls being hot? Characters have to have personality, charisma. And I said personality, did I? And none of these girls have. None of them have any charisma, personality to me. To me, they're all just boring, bland, and just to look hot, basically. I don't. Well, as this for. I'll talk about this some other time. There's a subject I'll talk about some other time. Maybe I'll get to it when I eventually review Watchmen. I'll talk about that, but. Yeah, this one. Yeah, 10 years later, it still sucks. But I just can't believe it, though. It's been 10 years since 2011 came out, and I remember this film very well when I saw this. The best thing about this film, sad to say, is the trailer. It made the trailer better than the actual movie itself. Because one thing I liked in the trailer, actually two things actually I liked from the trailer were the song choices. The opening of the song the song on the opening of the trailer, "When the Levee Breaks" by Led Zeppelin, and at the end of the trailer, "Panic Switch" by Silver Sun's Pickups. I like Led Zeppelin, especially the Immigrant Song, and so but the song here, they have the opening of it, "When the Levee Breaks," and then at the end, Silver Sun's Pickups, "Panic Switch." And to me, and especially the trailer made the trailer actually better than the movie, so at least I can give it that maybe. And Scott Glenn, he was the best part of the movie, but he couldn't save the film. Yeah, there's some nice visuals, especially when Led Zeppelin, the Zeppelin coming down in flames, or maybe some on the samurai, maybe. Like I'm getting kind of a sucker for the Japanese stuff, the samurai stuff. Especially watching a lot of anime, so. But yeah. But still, the film was so confusing and makes me scratch my head, Characters are just bland, boring, no charisma, no personality. And basically 90% is basically a green screen. Now, I said before, people like this movie, that's fine. Like I said, I hold nothing against anybody who likes this movie. If you like it, that's perfectly fine with me. But in my opinion here, this film's 10 years later, this film still sucks ass to me. It still does suck, still. Sucker Punch. I gave that film a sucker punch. I feel like even giving a sucker punch right here to the arm, or a sucker punch to the gut to me. Or maybe I want to give a sucker punch to the head to beat this film out of my brain. That's the more use of the title Sucker Punch to me. What is the title? Why is this film called Sucker Punch anyway? Do you think it's a misleading and shitty title for a type of film like this? Zack Snyder, I think, like I said, I love Legend of the Guardians, I love Dawn of the Dead, but I think he's an overrated director. I think he is an overrated director. His DC films, people like his DC films, that's fine. I don't. I did not like the director's cut of his Justice League film. It was a complete utter waste of my time, and just stay away. But I was interested in seeing Army of the Dead with Dave Bautista. I'll give that a watch. But that's about it. I don't want to see any more. If he's making any more DC films, stay away from DC, please. Man, just exhausted now. But yeah, especially he came up with a story for this film. The pacing was an hour and 49 minutes or something like that. It was slow, boring. The songs, nothing to run home about. The score by Tyler Bates, nothing. Especially an intentionally song to put in, right? When they write out the song, it was like, where's the song called? Where Is My Mind? Or something like that. Yeah, because she's in a mental asylum, because, her mind's maybe going crazy, because her mind's wandering because of all these visions she's having. Yeah, that's really spot on, right? But anyway, yeah, that's my rant on Sucker Punch. I wanted to review this for a while, yeah. 10th anniversary, a rant 10th anniversary, it still sucks. To me, it still sucks. If people like this film, that's fine. Yeah, but 10 years later, yeah. I'm still not a fan. It still sucks to me. But yeah, that's my rant on Sucker Punch. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next movie review. Later. Screw this film.